Hello and welcome to another package of news from the power sector produced by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This is Power Wheel and I am Omelogo Nadi. Today's episode is loaded, and so without delay, let's get down to business with events in our Power News segment. The federal government is devising strategies to deliver 2,000 megawatts of unutilized electricity to industries and large households under the eligible customer regulation recently made by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC.
The Honorable Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, who was represented by the Minister of State, too, Honorable Suleiman Hassan Zarma, revealed these at the 24th monthly power sector meeting at Katampe Transmission Substation in Abuja.
There is about 2,000 megawatts of electricity generating capacity that is unutilized. Therefore, the challenge of the moment before the industry is how to deliver the unutilized capacity to consumers who are willing to pay for it and are already paying dearly for alternatives. How can we domesticate the alternative spend into the electricity industry?
He said government was meeting with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and other large consumers to find the best ways to implement the regulation to distribute 2,000 megawatts unutilized power that makes up over 7,000 megawatts generation and transmission capacity so far.
The eligible customer regulation and the meter service provider regulation are already the subjects of detailed discussions and NEC regulatory action. The eligible customer regulation allows large consumers to buy their power directly from GenCos, then contract with TCN, DISCOs, and investors to have the power delivered to them. To plan an orderly win-win implementation of this policy, the Ministry is hosting a discussion with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and other interested large consumers of the policy.
The Managing Director of Transmission Company of Nigeria, Mr. Usman Gul Mohammed, in his address at the meeting, said the company has plans to procure high-capacity conductors to upgrade most of the 132 by 33 kilovolts substations.
We wish to thank His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Power, Works and Housing, for getting us yet another opportunity to play host at the monthly power sector meeting. It is our fervent wish that the deliberation of today will be fruitful and rewarding. TCN has concluded plan to procure high-capacity conductors to upgrade most of the 132 33 kV substations where limitations has curtailed the utilization of transformer capacities. This will be implemented by in-house engineers, and it is expected to significantly improve our wheeling capacity.
He also said TCN recently presented a least cost of a 20-year transmission expansion master plan to the Honorable Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, saying it will guide in the systematic development of the grid infrastructure.
The Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program established by TCN and endorsed by various donors were prepared in line with the 20-year Transmission Expansion Master Plan. The 5 projects earmarked for implementation under the program in the total sum of $1.57 billion are on track, as TCN has sharpened its implementation capacity through 4 well-staffed and established, adequately staffed project management units.
Mohammed commended the minister for negotiating 50% discounts with concerned shipping and terminal agents in the recent clearing of over 500 stranded power equipment containers for TCN.
We have commenced implementation of some of the projects whose contractors were cleared. TCN engineers will complete all projects abandoned as well as those whose contractors have shown lack of capacity. TCN has terminated, for example, the Walalambe and Dambata 132 kV 33 substations project, both in Kano, and handed over to the implementation of those projects to the Kano Kaduna Transmission region. The GIT and the Federal Lloyd, which are contracts under the NEGIP project, which is financed by the World Bank, have also been handed over to Port Harcourt and Abuja region. That is, they are going to take over and install those transformers that the contractor could not do them at the speed that we want.
Now, moving away from unutilized electricity to supply, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has commissioned 2 by 100 MVA power transformers at Katampe and Apo substations to improve electricity supply in the Federal Capital Territory. Details of that are up next.
The Minister of State 2, Honorable Suleiman Hassan Zarma, who represented the Honorable Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, while commissioning the 100 MVA 132 by 33 kV transformer at Katampe Transmission Substation, said TCN was making investments to further increase transmission capacity, which is now a little above 7,000 megawatts.
The GENCOs can now produce 7,000 megawatts with more capacity coming. This administration's focus on delivering incremental power requires that TCN build and maintain the capacity and operational flexibility to transmit more than the GENCOs can produce. To ensure stable and reliable power delivery to the DISCOs and other customers connected directly to the national grid. As part of the program, another milestone has been achieved here in the capital city of Abuja with the installation of the additional 1 by 100 MVA transformer at Katampe and another of the same capacity at Apo.
At the commissioning, he said the new transformers will provide the necessary operational flexibility that will ensure stable and reliable power delivery to the distribution companies and other class of customers connected directly to the national grid.
With the commissioning of the two 100 MVA 132 by 33 kV transformers, the communities listed below are expected to experience remarkable improvement in power supply. Gwarimpa, Life Camp, Jabi, Kado, Uye, Maitama, Mpape, Katampe 1 and 2, Jahi, Mabushi, Gariki, Gudu, Guzape, Asokoro, Apo Resettlement, Wumba, Apo Mechanic Village, and part of Lugbe and Namdi Azikwe International Airport, all located within the Federal Capital Territory.
The minister also announced the Abuja Transmission Scheme, a new project to be implemented by TCN, financed by French Development Agency. Under it, TCN will construct 5 new substations that will cater for the transmission needs of Abuja in a long while.
TCN is also implementing the Abuja Transmission Scheme, ATS, financed by Agence Française de Développement, AFD. The procurement process for the projects under the scheme has reached an advanced stage. 5 new substations and a third 330 kV transmission line into Abuja, in addition to Shiroro Abuja, Ajaokuta Abuja 330 kV transmission line, will be constructed as part of ATS. 2 of the new stations, 33 by 132 by 33 kV substations under ATS, will be sited as West Main, Lugbe, and New Apo, while the 3 new 132 by 33 kV substations will be sited at Lokogoma, Kuje, and Gwarimpa. They are expected to cater for transmission needs of Abuja in a long while.
He commended the government of Japan for the important collaboration it has with the federal government, under which capacitor banks worth over $10 million are being installed at Apo and Kefi substations to improve the quality of power supply from the substations.
On behalf of my colleague ministers, and indeed entire staff of the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, I congratulate TCN for successfully installing the 1 by 100 MVA transformer at Katampe and for the installation of another Apo substation. The ministry will continue to support its agencies, including TCN, to deliver incremental power to Nigerians. We are unveiling this flag today to commission this 1 by 100 MVA transformer for the benefit of man to the glory of God. This is to commemorate the official commissioning of the new 1 by 100 MVA 132 by 33 kV power transformer at Katampe Transmission Substation, Abuja FCT, by the Honorable Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, on Monday, 12th February 2018. Thank you. We are commissioning this transformer today for the benefit of man to the glory of God.
The Managing Director of TCN, Mr. Usman Gul Mohammed, said that the 2 by 100 MVA power transformer installed at Katampe and Apo substations would improve supply across over 15 towns, including Warimpa, Maitama, and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in the FCT and environs.
We added it to the existing transformer capacity in Katampe. The existing capacity in Katampe is 120 megawatts. With this addition of 100 megawatts, it means that the capacity of Katampe has increased to 220 megawatts. So with that development, it means that we have met the N-1 criteria here in Katampe, meaning if one transformer fell in Katampe, the society will not feel it. That means Abuja Disco will not lose electricity because one of them has failed. So at the same time, we have also completed a 100 MV at Apo. At the same time, it has been commissioned and put to service also at the same time as this time. Now, at Apo, we have 190 megawatt capacity. We have added another 100 megawatt. It means we have 290 megawatt in Apo.
The Lagos region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has carried out a preventive maintenance on towers situated in the Lagos Lagoon to achieve the federal government's objectives of increasing the quantum of electricity to Nigerians incrementally. Here's the rest of the report.
The Assistant General Manager, Transmission, Ajah Sub-Region, Engineer Lamina Adebola, said that the Lagos region has been fortunate to have benefited from in-house projects which aim at improving electricity infrastructures by the current administration.
Lagos region have been very, very lucky to benefit from the in-house project program initiated by the current management of TCN. We have a number of in-house projects that we are handling right now. One of them is the replacement of corridor insulator in the lagoon between Egbin and Ajah 330 kV line. The other one is the corrosion control on the tower legs of Lekki Alagbon 330 kV line. We also have an ongoing project at Ilashe, one island in Lagos. The completion of that project is going to be one of its kind in the whole country because that 130 kV substation is located in an island.
One of these projects is the maintenance of transmission towers standing in Lagos Lagoon, a risky job which he said was done by contractors in the past, but was recently executed by the line's maintenance crew of the Ajah sub-region that oversees the lagoon towers.
One of the work centers in Lagos that's custodian of these lagoon towers is Ajah sub-region, located in Ajah axis of Lagos. Most of the lines under Ajah sub-region are located in the lagoon. Because of this, the workmen are well grounded in the art of maintaining lagoon tower. And lagoon towers happen to be the tallest among all towers in the country.
He said the need to replace the glass insulators of the 18 Ajaleki Alagbon 33 kV transmission lines became necessary to prevent the snapping of the conductors, which could result in loss of supply for some parts of Lagos, as the lines wheel electricity from Egbin through the Egbin Aja 33 kV transmission lines.
Between Egbin Power Station and Aja. Egbin Power Station, between Egbin Power Station and Aja, we have 18 towers that are located in the lagoon. This Egbin Aja line happens to be one of the most important lines for Lagos because it's delivering about 750 MVA power from Egbin Power Station. So TCN cannot avoid this line to drop, because dropping of the line will cause unmitigated economic problem.
Engineer Adegbola commended the MD and CEO of TCN, Usman Gur Mohammed, for the quick approval given for the replacement of the corroded glass insulators with silicon composite, which is anti-corrosive and better for the lagoon environment where the towers are located.
Because of the corrosive nature of the environment, the insulators that carry the conductors get easily corroded, and there's need to do preventive replacement as at when due. The new management under Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed decided that it is high time we replace all these corroded insulators in the lagoon, and it gave accelerated approval for the job to commence.
The Assistant General Manager, Transmission, also lauded the line's maintenance crew of the sub-region, who did maintenance job perfectly, thereby saving TCN a lot of money that would have been paid to contractors for the same job.
We have to thank the management of TCN for believing in our own indigenous engineers and work our technicians. Previously, before the advent of this administration, such jobs are always contracted to foreign companies that will make the country of millions of naira. For now, we are doing it internally, and I mean, are doing it successfully.
To improve the national grid operations and ensure seamless wheeling of electricity, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has inaugurated a 9-member operations working group to review the grid code and other technical matters. That story is next.
The head system operations of TCN, Engineer Mamanjimo Lawal, who inaugurated the group recently at the TCN headquarters, Abuja, spelled out the major tasks of the group to include reviewing technical matters in relation to system operations.
The group is required to periodically, and upon the request of the system operator or the stakeholders advisory panel, review technical matters in relation to system operation planning, maintenance coordination, dispatch, ancillary services, transmission constraints, disturbances, and real-time operation.
He tasked the working group, who creatively coming out with strategies that will access the link between the system operations and 8 stakeholders, which includes the generation companies and the distribution companies.
The operations working group is one of the requirements of the ruling documents. By the ruling documents, I'm actually referring to the market rules as well as the grid code. Okay, it's one of the enactments we have, and it operates in tandem with the rules working group. I recall only a few months ago, the rules working group was equally inaugurated, isn't it? Okay, so we are actually required to have this in position so that we can readily encapsulate industry stakeholders' views with respect to grid operations. It's a veritable platform for galvanizing opinion on the workability of the ruling documents, as well as of grid control and grid operational issues.
He said TCN has recorded significant changes in its operations and the way it does business in compliance with many rules and regulations guiding the power sector, including the Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005.
There has been so much changes in the way we do things, especially with the advent of the Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005 and the other enactments that have followed of late.
Engineer Lawal introduced members of the group to include general managers from the Systems Operations Headquarters and the National Control Center, Oshobo, assistant general managers from Protection Control and Metering, System Planning, Operations, TDA, and that of Regulation. The others are the head, Operations of Transcorp Power Limited, and that of Kano Electricity Distribution Company.
I want to believe that I have the express permission of the meeting to inaugurate the committee. The committee stands inaugurated on this night.
TCN, which is government funded directly, I've come here to announce programs and projects approved for TCN. TCN is now able to wheel 7,000, but DISCO can't take more than 5,000. So you have a surplus of 2,000 that is not reaching the people. So the people who are obliged to do that work are the owners of the DISCO, which is government and private investor. Government is now saying, we can't sit down and do nothing. Let's start something, a framework for investment. As I said, we will advertise international tender from people who make the equipment. What are the equipment? We will need transformers, bus bars, conductors, switch gears, circuit breakers, and all of that. And have a quote, international competitive pricing. Once those prices are agreed, then we call the private sector owners of the DISCO and say, look, this is our own 40%, where is your own? So that we can build this thing. So as soon as the pricing is complete, we intend to be able to persuade government to start making its investment. And there's so many things that also need to be done. The mechanics for getting that done rests with the Council of Privatization and the Bureau of Public Enterprises. So what we have done as a ministry is a formulation of a policy to government to say this is the next thing you must do. And government has approved that policy.
We'll bring you more reports on the program in the Power Flash segment. You're still watching Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. It's time now for a short break. Please stay tuned.
In the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, we transmit bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of various distribution companies, DISCOs. Nationwide, we do not generate electricity, neither do we distribute same directly to electricity consumers. TCN has two business units, the Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Independent System Operations, ISO. The ISO comprised of System Operation, SO, and Market Operation, MO. The business units all perform specialized functions under the TCN umbrella. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, wielding power for national economic growth. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
It gladdens us when your comments and views reach us. Let's hear what you have to say in our feedback segment.
Electricity now, okay, but our bill is too much. Because sometimes per month and they bring 8,000 naira, 10,000 naira for 2-bedroom flats. So then I try almost about since last year, I try for the pay meter. What's now they will give me. So then I manage to like that. Then this around us is no easy. Money is no day.
About concerning the lights, the government for now they are improving. So like last year January to October, the light is poor. But from October to December, as in the government, they are trying, they are really improving. So for me, I'll give the government power, as in concerning the power supply, 70%.
The light is not correctly give us about of the anything frozen. So we have to leave fridge on always to save all the things that inside the fridge. Because I'm living in a Jayi area. So and our light sometimes is 2 days on, 1 day, 2 days on, 1 day off.
Thank you for your time with us on the program. Please keep the views and comments coming, and you can always reach us through these various platforms on your screen. I am Omelogo Nadi. Bye for now.